Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville YouTube channel. For this video, we are going to show you how to adjust the step-up springs on your Edelbrock Carburetor. Now these springs control your secondaries and when they open. So if you're running lean, when you get on the gas a little bit, this could be a problem. You can make them open up a little bit faster. The stock springs that come in it are 5 inches of mercury, unless you have a 1406, which is what mine is, the 600 CFM with electric choke. In that case, you have one with 4 inches. So we're going to take a look at the carburetor and actually how this works and the whole scenario. But what I want you to know is if you're going to do any of these changes, you need to get this Performer Series carburetor kit. I'll put a link down below, but I'm telling you, this thing's $60 or so. And you have about 5 cents worth of actual material here. I really don't want to dump it on the ground since it's 60 bucks in little pieces. You're getting various springs of different strengths. You're getting different sized metering rods and jets. Now we're only messing with the springs for this video. You can also get generic ones. The generic versions you can get for like 10 or 15 bucks. I was afraid to get a generic version if it would fail or something. It would be more of a headache than what it's worth. But if you don't want to dish out the 60 or so dollars, you can get generic ones a lot cheaper. And I'll have links to both down below if you want to give it a shot. These springs go right, let's see, right under that screw right there. There's one on each side. Just for the sake of demonstration, you have a metering rod like this inside that channel under that cover that I showed you, right? So the spring is pushing upwards. The vacuum of the engine is compressing the spring, pushing it downwards. Now you can see, possibly, that this rod is tapered. It's thinner here, it's fatter there. So the lower it is, when it's all the way down, it's plugging the secondaries. No gas is getting to your secondaries. As the engine vacuum goes down, the spring is going to push it up, allowing fuel into the secondaries. Now there's 2 ways to determine which springs you want to use. A simple way, if you have a vacuum gauge, is to just get the vacuum of your engine at idle. You want it warmed up. You always do any of your carburetor tuning when the engine's at operating temperature. Take a vacuum reading. If you're at 20, then you cut it in half. You want the springs that are 10 inches of mercury. If you're at 18, you want 9, 16, 8. So it just goes like that. And there's 1 spring on each side. Now this chart is included when you buy the calibration kit. I don't know if you buy the generics if it's included, but it's included in mine, so you can look on this anyway. And you can see it tells you they're color-coded and which spring you needed. So again, if you were at, let's say 18, you would be at 6, so then you could go 7 or 5, whichever way you want. Start with the highest, put them in, test drive it, and you can keep going lower until you get your desired results. You can actually check this with the engine running. You're not going to have any problem with that. So let's take a look at that and see what springs I should be using. We're going to pop that little door off. It's 1/4 inch bolt. It also is a Torx if you have those. And we don't need to take it all the way out. We just need to loosen it. You can see the spring's under there. It's spring loaded, so the door pops up. And we're going to move it over just a little bit. Just enough to expose the spring so you can see the little piston in there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to tighten it back down so that door doesn't flop around on us. Don't tighten it enough to bend it or damage it because it's not in its right position, obviously. Now, I'm going to start the engine, and the engine vacuum should pull those down. I'm going to give it a little gas, and you should be able to see them come up. Now, we need to know what the vacuum is on the car. And I know it's hard for you to see because there's a glare off the light on the vacuum gauge right there. But we're going to start it back up and at idle with the engine warm, see what the vacuum is. We're going to cut it in half, and that's the springs that we want in. And remember, the stock is going to be either 5-inch or 4. So we're at about 14. Means we want the springs that are 7. So we're going to check the color code and swap them out. I know the camera's not going to focus on it, but on the right is the spring we just took out, and kind of on the left, the pink spring is the one we're putting in. You can see the difference in them there. So let's get the driver's side done. You'll notice when I was putting it in, didn't really want to seat it first. He's kind of give it a little jiggle and wiggle. Don't force it. You don't want to break anything. Jiggle and wiggle, it'll fall in. Every time. Passenger side. Let's start it up again. Again, once the engine starts, you see the vacuum pull those little pistons down, and we'll see how it reacts when we give it gas this time. Looks good. Let's tighten them down like they're supposed to be. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're going to do a whole series of videos on tuning this Edelbrock Carburetor. We're going to have a bunch of other projects on this here 66 Caprice, 73 Corvette, and a 2018 Chevy Colorado ZR2. So if you like that kind of stuff, hang out, stick around. I'll see you guys next time.